What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with an all-new review of the Bell Collective and Heart and Hustle Houston. I'm gonna try to combine that in one video again. I forgot I didn't even take no notes on Bell Collective. I watched it, but what I can remember, I'll try to put it into a short review. If you guys hear any noise in the background, it's my daughter. She's behind me watching one of her favorite videos. Um, Based on what I can remember from this past episode of Bell Collective, Kerri and her mother-in-law are just two high heads, constantly back and forth. Okay, they're both stubborn. They both don't want to listen. Um, Kerri reveals some new information in regarding to how the land should have been divided when Matt's father passed away, and why it's being given to Marlene, being the temporary owner. She said that they were divorced. So by the time that his father passed, Marlene and his father were no longer married. So Marlene is not the rightful owner. I guess the rightful owner is Matt, but I believe Matt has other siblings. So Kerri thought that she was doing the right thing by dividing all the land up equally between the siblings, but it's not working out. And maybe that's where Kerri should just stop. Because I feel what Kerri is coming from in regarding to how Marlene is coming at her about what she should and shouldn't be doing, and throwing it in Kerri's face about what she got going on with Matt and what her and Matt are talking about in regarding to fixing up that 400 acres that was passed down through Matt's family. And also, Kerri is extremely stressed out. You know what I'm saying? She is about to close down one of her restaurants. We knew about that from the first part of the season, and she's had trouble. You know what I'm saying? She's had a couple of interested buyers, but none of them went through. And I feel like Matt is not showing up the way that he should be showing up on camera, with trying to be there for Kerri, because he's on the other side. Like, the sun's gonna still shine. Everything's gonna be okay. God's got other things working for us, and she don't want to hear all of that. I don't want to hear a fortune cookie. I don't want to hear something that you pull out of a Hallmark card. I need for my husband to understand we're gonna take a big financial loss once we close off my business. You know what I'm saying? And that hurts me. That hurts how I view myself. So Kerri is completely stressed out, and I completely understand that. But maybe she should not be so invested and involved into what's going on with Matt and his mom as far as what to do with the property. But also, from the last week's episode, it's been said that Kerri and Matt do pay for the property taxes on the land. So if Matt and his mom already have an agreement about how they're going to use up the land, then fine, let them have their plan. But I don't want nobody to come at Kerri about what Matt's not doing, when this is something that Marlene wants Matt to be involved in. Like, she wants something to give to Matt. She wants Matt to find something to do. I don't know why she's believing that Matt's shine is being outshined by what Kerri got going on. And I feel like, Matt, this is all your fault, because you should have never confided into your mom about what has been stressing Kerri, what's been going on with Kerri. And you know that your mom has not a disdain, but you know your mom don't have nothing positive to say to Kerri sometimes. So I don't know why you would put yourself in the middle between your mom and your wife. Now, Matt loves his wife regardless. I've seen that on their Instagram, and Essence Fest just came in New Orleans, and he was there supporting Kerri. Kerri looked beautiful. So I know for a fact Matt and Kerri gonna be okay with going through this hump, because they've been together for almost 20 years. So I know that this isn't something that they are not used to. This isn't something that they don't know how to get over. It's just not cool to see. And the fact that it's been more than 3 episodes that we're always ending things off with Kerri and her mother-in-law always going back and forth, being disrespectful towards one another, throwing slugs. I don't have no time. Like, let's just end this, please. What else happened this episode? Marie is having a grand opening for one of her new locations. This is her 9th location, because when she went over to Latrice's restaurant, Latrice had invited all the ladies out to have a good time, catch up. Marie was talking about her upcoming grand opening, and then Tambra, if I believe, was the one who wanted Marie to explain what Marie does, as well as what's going on in one of her locations, because I remember the week prior she took her children to one of her other property that she bought before to transfer her other location and the services to that location, because that location was going to have a raised rent, and Marie said, I'm not paying $20,000 a month for that building, so we're moving from that location to a new location, a building she already bought and purchased. So it looked like the ladies were confused as to why she was moving from one location to another. I didn't find it confusing, but I think for the sake of trying to understand what took place with the rent and everything, Marie took it offensively. She took it like the girls are constantly questioning her, why they all up in her business and everything. And I'm just like, Marie, just stop. If they're asking you, they want to understand. The same way you inquire about what's going on with other people's lives, you can miss me. Then she transferred it to what's going on in Kerri because she don't want to ask nobody else what's going on in their lives. She only wants to ask Kerri because she is upset that Kerri is always the one asking her questions. But Kerri isn't the only one asking you questions. And Kerri said, I mean, oh, she's talking about what's going on with her and Matt. She said, me and Matt are good. You know what I'm saying? We're a work in progress. I think Selena said something about that's unheard of. If you hear a couple being cool, being good, I don't know. It's weird. Then she talked about what's going on with Brick and Spoon. It's not working well. I gotta close it down. I've had 2 buyers interested, but they didn't come through with what they wanted to pay for it, and that's pretty hard. And I'm just like, Marie, you satisfied now? You asked Kerri what's going on in her life, and she told you without being not dismissive, not deflecting. And I don't know how she got Kerri not standing on business, not being real for what she's saying when she just told you what's going on in her life. I don't understand that. I got confused in that aspect. What else happened this episode? Glen and Lateshia. They went to Glen's financial attorney that he met earlier in the season to try to get an understanding what the post-up agreement was. Then him and Lateshia pretty much came to an agreement that they want to fight for their love. He said he don't care about her money. And they both have done things to hurt one another, but Glen mostly takes the accountability that he's done a lot to hurt her. He's done a lot to break her heart. He wants the original heart that he once broke. And they just want to come together. And she just wants to make sure the money she's bringing in is protected, as well as what they already are doing being 50-50. And it's like, fine, whatever, fine. It's whatever. It's whatever. It's whatever. That's it. That's all. What else took place? Thinking. Marie has her grand opening. Only Tambra and Lateshia came. Tambra was being messy because she said she passed by the building that Marie was once in, and it had a for lease sale sign. Marie said it must have put it up there recently. And then Marie said that there was a rumor going around from somebody posting on Facebook or somewhere on social media that, oh, did Marie's building close down? Why is there a for sale sign? Why is there a for lease sign? So Marie is obviously feeling a way about that comment being posted, is assuming the girls are coming at her about the rumor like they know about it. Turns out they didn't know about it. Like, you are responding to a rumor that the girls are not even aware of. What else took place? Did Selena have anything going on? No, but Latrice is planning for a trip to go down to Atlanta to celebrate Mike and Selena's nuptials. So it's like a bachelorette party down to Atlanta. They go down to Atlanta. Latrice and Glen are the ones orchestrating the trip. So they go through the Airbnb, they go through the rooms. I think that Latrice should have given Mike and Selena the biggest room. Since this is them, this is for their upcoming nuptials, they should have the biggest room. I get it, you and Cliff are the ones orchestrating the event. The trip, y'all paying for it, so y'all should get a good room, but I feel like y'all shouldn't have gotten the biggest room. That should have went for Selena and Mike. Of course, Tambra is coming without Damon because her and Damon really don't have a lot of time to spend together because they don't trust no one to watch their daughter other than Damon and her family. And of course, her dad has been feeling unwell. Her mom has been there taking care of him. So for the sake of the trip, Damon's not going, and I think Tamara would have wanted it that way anyway. Marie don't have nobody. What else? So when they were selecting the rooms, they decided at the end of the episode to give Matt and Kerri the smallest room because Latrice wants to be petty and wants to get her get back by giving Kerri and Matt the smallest room because when Kerri had her trip down to Biloxi, she had to share a bunk bed with Lateshia. But keep in mind, Latrice, the bunk bed that Kerri gave you was way bigger and more spacious than this utility closet that you given Kerri and Matt. And towards the end of the episode, they found out about the room and they called Latrice petty. And of course, it's supposed to be like a hazing thing. You give me a bad room, I give you a bad room later. But I honestly don't think that this is even necessary in my opinion. So we know that this upcoming episode, Matt and Kerri are gonna foresee their rooms, and it's a possibility that they might not stay the whole trip. And I would not be upset if they're mad about their rooms, because that it ain't nothing in there but a pull-out couch. Really, that I ain't got time for that. What else happened? I think that's it. And then I forgot, when they were driving down to Atlanta in the Spritter van, the rest of the ladies, Selena, Matt, Tambra, Kerri, and Marie, they were just talking, right? Excuse me. Just catching up what Kerri got going on. She's venting about how she has a lot with her business, and then her mother-in-law's getting on her damn nerves. She's saying her mom is the town crazy lady. They don't like that she's calling her mother-in-law names. If y'all knew what was going on, if y'all knew the things that Marlene has said to Kerri, y'all wouldn't be so quick to say Kerri is wrong, right? Then when it came down to the support of Marie takes all of her frustration and puts it all on Kerri. Like, Kerri's the one constantly in her business. Kerri's the one always asking her questions. Kerri's the one being messy. When Tambra was the one who said it not once, not twice, mentioning why your first location was closed down and you're moving to a new location. She was the one who told you at your grand opening that she passed by one of your old buildings and saw the for sale sign or the for lease sign. So Marie, you just don't like Kerri, and that's fine if you don't like Kerri, but I feel like you have so much venom towards Kerri when all she's doing is just asking the questions that no one wants to ask, getting the conversations going, bringing up topics that nobody wants to talk about. Like, I'm sick of Marie constantly going after Kerri, and I love that Kerri takes it as a funny back and forth banter with her. I love that she don't take it seriously, so it's like whatever. And that's pretty much all I can think about. Like, as y'all knows, I haven't reviewed Belle Collective lately. It's not like it's not good. I don't know what it is. It's just like dry. I have no idea. The only interesting that I'm seeing is Kerri and her mother-in-law. That's the one thing I keep seeing. But we're moving on. Let's transfer to Hard and Hustle. Now, this past episode of Hard and Hustle Houston, this show was good, right? But what I am noticing is that you guys are going to paint the narrative of making Chloe out to be the villain, or making Chloe out to be the most messiest person on this show. That she's the reason why everybody's at odds to one another. Everybody is not cool with one another. And I don't like that. Don't like that at all, okay? So we're starting off with Ashley, Tori, and Labrina. They're going to a tasting for Ashley's new restaurant, and obviously she's coming into the group being a newcomer. She has her own confessional. She is a recent graduate, being a doctor. She's an owner of a bar. I am happy to see a different side of Ashley, but I'm not over with the way that Ashley welcomed herself into this group, okay? And Labrina is happy to see Tori, but after what happened that Rose Wild night, they didn't have enough time to say much to one another. So she wants to talk to Tori. And it is nice to see them in a better space. And as we are talking about how Ashley came along, she said she noticed friction in the group. And we are back with the Precious comment. And I am over it. I wish that y'all would let this comment go. Let it the fuck go. Why are we still talking about it? How many episodes this show has had since it aired? 7? We've already dragged this out for more than what it was. Please let it go. And then Tori tells Labrina, I wasn't beefing with you. But it's like, why would I say that about my friend? Labrina said, I don't fault you, but I wish it wouldn't have been painted like I said it, because what I said wasn't what I said. What was said back to you was a lie. And then we get another version of what took place once again. And I'm just like, please, production. If y'all gonna tell it, please tell it all. Stop giving us multiple versions, because I peeped that before. We see Chloe's name as bringing up her version. We see Labrina's name as it being her version. At the end of the episode, we got Monira's version. I need for production to play the whole entire scene and just leave it at that. But I get it. Y'all are putting out little tidbits just to get the conversations going, to see if context is there, and to see if somebody messed up or lied. I get all that, but I'm over it, okay? Over it. But I cannot take Labrina seriously about how she wants to reach a better space with Tori when she's trying to shift blame as to what led to them being at odds in the first place, and putting Chloe as the main person that did a whole lot. But at the same point in time, did you tell Tori that you were the birdie that told Ashley about the lemon drop comment? Because that was what I did not realize until later. That Tori don't know that Labrina was the one that told Ashley about the lemon drop. And Ashley did not tell Tori that it was Labrina. She said, "Little birdie told me." So both Ashley and Labrina are not being honest and real, in my opinion, for trying to point out who's really being the one carrying the bone, bringing up mess, when you got two messy girls right here not being honest in the front with Tori. So as she's putting all the blame on Chloe, she's calling Chloe a massive manipulator. Chloe's the one spreading information, causing friction. I'm like, a massive manipulator? No, master. Master manipulator. That's a big word, Labrina, but I don't think that that's on Chloe. Does Chloe present herself as being a bone collector? Absolutely. Has she been messy? Absolutely. But she's not the only one. Okay? Because at the beginning of this season, though, Labrina, you were definitely on the same type of messy that you're accusing Chloe as doing when you brought yourself in Elena's business and was talking about her marriage. So you can miss me with that. We're returning back to the therapy session where she did apologize to her, and now she's receiving an apology from Tori about how I want to move forward. It's nice for them to be in a good space. She wants Tori to take off her rose-colored glasses off, and it's just like, Labrina, please. So saying how she wants to get to the root of it because it's unpleasant, it's unwarranted. Okay, so you don't want to admit that it was unpleasant and it was unwarranted that you went and told Ashley about what Tori might have said when she didn't like the fact she was told she had to pay for her own drink. And you must have taken it back and added more smoke to it, the way you're accusing Chloe of adding more smoke when she's taking back information. Miss me, okay? And I don't know. It's like, it's just weird. It's weird. I had no idea what to say to that because that whole situation like made me mad because looking at the clips and I'm like, Latoria, why would you still be cool with Labrina after finding out what she did to you when Ashley was brought around? But as I just said before, she don't know how Ashley got the information because Ashley never told her it was Labrina. So then So we have Nira. Nira set up a family dinner for her parents to be involved, her children to be involved, and it's not working out the way she wanted to. Turns out Chachi, her mom, is up in her room. She's not coming down because she just want to pretend to be a big happy family with someone who she once had a kid with but don't want to talk about what happened in their relationship. And she kind of thought that they would go out to eat, but now that they're having dinner in the home, she's like, I'm not coming down. I need to know, is it a protection thing? Is it a safety thing? As far as like, if you're out, then he's not invading your space. But now that he's in your home, you think he's invading your space. Like, this is supposed to be for me, and you coming into things that's supposed to be for me. If that's the case, let me know. And Manera, you know, she's upset. She's feeling defeated. She's not getting the dinner that she wanted because she wanted a big happy family dinner. But knowing that her parents don't want to discuss about what took place in their relationship, they're not going to put on a brave face just to make her happy. And I think that's what Manera is upset about, because she's all over the place trying to fix everything, and it's not even her place to fix what took place with her parents, even though her parents are not even giving her any leeway, any information about what took place in their relationship. But it's just a lot, okay? It's a lot, you know? And she wanted to cancel, but then Norman wanted to make the best of it. Norman spoke about how he's had family dinners with his parents down to Jamaica. It was a nice time. Even though this is not what we thought it was going to work out, we're going to make the best of it. And I think we should be happy for that. I think Nira didn't like the fact that Norman tried to compare what he actually was able to experience with having both his parents at a family dinner. And Nira is not getting that. She's not getting the experience of having both her parents at the same time in the same space, having a family dinner. So the girls addressed their grandfather. One of the girls went and painted a picture of him, which is very cute. And one of the other daughters said, "Where's Chachi, their grandmother?" I don't know if she answered it. And Lionel asked the same question, like, where is she? Turns out she really didn't answer the question at all. And that's kind of where she gets, you know, avoiding conversation or avoiding confrontation, avoiding answering certain questions. She gets it from her father, because when they met up the first time, she asked him what happened in their relationship. He didn't want to talk about it. So, you know, Manera, while I'm happy we're getting more in your family dynamics, but I'm gonna need more out of this than you trying to fix your parents' relationship from way back when. But moving on from there. We got Ashley. Ashley has her own separate scene as being a newcomer in the group. Her and her husband are discussing business. She met her husband back in 2018. They got married in 2022. They have two small children, and her nephew is living with them. Sounds like a busy household. They're discussing their new business venture. They're going to build a new steak and seafood restaurant because her and her husband love to go out to eat. Excuse me. And they love to go to a place that has a luxury experience, and it's a black owned business. Shout out to them. That's very beautiful. So while they are talking about venturing into this new business, what is the next step for it? She's asking her husband, Brad, I think his name, when is he gonna come off the road because he's in production. He has his own production company. And she loves that her husband found something that he loves to do, but she would want him to be around the house more and help her out with the children. But in order for him to want to come home and be helpful is if they have more children. And she said, no, that's not going to work. I need you to help me with the kids we already have. Okay? She says she recently graduated. She has her doctorate. We all know she's a very, very busy woman. She wants to now put all her time and energy on what she wants to do, on her career. And we get through her schedule. Her schedule is hectic. You know what I'm saying? At the beginning of the week, from Monday through Wednesday, she sees her clients. Then Thursday through Sunday, she's overseeing her bar and lounge called Allure. I gotta commend her. Like, that is a very hectic schedule, along with having two small children. Also, why do men do that? Why do men believe that the only way they will make that sacrifice or make that decision to come around more is if we have more children? No. No, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be the one doing all the work because I'm the one that's going to be carrying one child in me and watching the other one. Like, why do you think knocking your wife up is supposed to be a good idea in order for you to come home more? Why do men want their wives to be barefoot and pregnant all the time? That doesn't do anything. That slows things down. And I think Ashley is past that point of wanting more children. Because she's already busy enough as it is, having another child, that's going to make it even more harder on her. And she says she does a lot for everybody else. She wants time for just Ashley. And I get that. I really do get that. So then we got Ro and her daughter Sophia. They're heading over to see her baby dad Javon. I guess he flew out to Houston. And the history between Ro and Javon is that they were friends, and they were both in a relationship with other people. And then when they became single, that's when they started to date. But he had a lot going on in his life. And when she found out she was pregnant, I guess she didn't want to burden him with that kind of responsibility, burden him with all of what he was already dealing with. So they didn't figure out how to be a relationship as well as having a child for the first time. And the way that Javon and Ro have a certain type of chemistry is very interesting to me. Like, they have that underlying, not resentment, but underlying like attraction towards one another that I can definitely see through the screen. And now they get into their relationship about how we want to get to a good place while raising Sophia. We got to work on her attitude and her work. So she talks about how she wants her to do better with her work. And when it comes up about how she's behaving in school, she gives me attitude. I be asking her, how was school today? And then she was looking at me like, fine. I be like, can I hug you? Okay. Like, she just has a nasty attitude, and it's like, what's going on there? Like, when did she reach this level where she got a whole lot of mouth, a whole lot of attitude? Like, I have no idea. Like, was I this way when I turned 13? Well, Ro, I gotta tell you, that's the answer. Your daughter is 13. And when she's 13, her body starts to change. There are things she's not gonna instantly confide in you. She's coming into her own. And when you are a teenager, you keep a lot of what you want to feel. You keep a lot of what you don't want to talk about away from your parents, because you feel like your parents are not going to understand you. So you keep a lot of things hidden. You see what I'm saying? And I think that just comes with raising a teenager. You go through that phase where they're not as open to you like they used when they were smaller. Like, they're coming into their own individuality, their own identity, and they like to protect what they want to keep them from themselves, from their parents. And then she's noticing traits from her baby daddy when it comes to her daughter, as far as like, when Sophia does something wrong, she gets affectionate. She be all up under you, wanting a hug. Then I think that's when she calls it manipulation. And then she attached it to the same way that Javon used to act. And Sophia recognizes she did shade her dad right in front of her. And, revealing that Javon has made Sophia cry a few times. So when her dad asked her, have I made you cry a few times? How many times have I made you cry? She said, it's been, sometimes. And then Ro looked at her like, girl, you've been telling me a whole lot about what your dad's been doing to you. And now when you're in front of him, you're not going to say what you've been telling me? Like, why are you protecting him? You know what? Sometimes parents don't want to rock the boat by throwing the other part. Sometimes kids don't want to rock the boat by throwing their other parent under the bus. Okay? So she's trying to keep things copacetic by not revealing what she has said to Ro about what her father has said and done to her to make her cry. But Ro does not want her daughter to grow up being talked to any kind of way, because she has been in a verbal and physical abusive relationship. So I don't want her to believe that being talked to like that is cute, is acceptable, because it's not acceptable, which I do agree with. Because finding out from last week, the week before, that when Sophia does something wrong, Javon makes her order off the kids menu. Now it makes me wonder, is it the kids menu when you go to the drive-thru, or is the kids menu when you're going out to eat, that you punish her for not giving her a full meal, knowing that a kids menu don't really feed that much? Interesting. And just recognizing when they're together, they have a good time, but we want to keep up with having a good time. And I feel like we should bring in therapy in the mix so we can learn more how to be around one another better. And it's an agreeable thing on both parties. And he even lets her know, don't be on Baltimore Road time. She said, don't be on Carol City time. That Miami energy. Don't bring that. I won't bring Baltimore. They have a very interesting dynamic with one another. Okay, I can tell there might still be love there, or is it just comfortability because they know each other so well and they know how to push each other's buttons. So I'm hopeful and I'm happy that we had this open conversation. It was cool. Moving on. So then we got Chloe, Ro, heading over to Latoria's office. First of all, Latoria's office is beautiful. And they talked about Ro's wild night out event just to catch up. Chloe goes in and said, I had a great time. I found a lot about Ashley. Like, she a freak. I loves me a freaky girl. You know what I'm saying? Then, out of the blue, Chloe asks, do you think that people are happily married? And I think she mentioned in this group, I think Ro said, you think there are people in our group that are happily married? She said, no, I don't think so. Because for some odd reason, Chloe is wondering about when you're married, there's supposed to be like a certain caliber of how freaky you are in your marriage. She believes that being married, you're supposed to have an amazing sex life. You should always want to be freaky and you want to explore, be adventurous. That's what I believe a marriage should be. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea why Chloe brought that up. I don't know where she brought that up, right? Then she brings up Labrina, that Labrina and Will don't have sex. I don't know if she heard it from Labrina or I have no clue. But I don't know why we're talking about other people's sex lives right now. I have no idea. Even Tori was like, you would think as beautiful Labrina and handsome as Will is, you would think they have an amazing sex life. And then here it comes again. When you're mentioning how another man could be fine, could be handsome, Chloe makes a face. Stop it, Chloe. Stop it. Stop it. We are not going to have another season where you're constantly making a face about how somebody else's man cannot be attractive. Jordan is not the finest man walking. Okay? Jordan is not the finest man you've ever had in your life. You can fucking miss me. Anyway. Tori mentioned that her cousin has told her she only comes out with the freaky side on special occasions, or she only has sex with her husband on special occasion. And it's just like, okay, fine. So then we talk about Tori meeting up with Ashley and Labrina at her new steak and seafood restaurant. It was a tasting. It was nice that her and Labrina had a conversation, and it became surprising to the other girls that having a good time with her, that it was brought up once again about the Precious comment, and that Labrina blamed it on Chloe. Chloe said, girl, why are we still talking about this? Roll the tapes back, okay? And it's the same thing we've heard before. How it was a clip of Labrina saying, Precious got good energy. I'm over it. I'm tired of it. So is Tori, so is Chloe, so is Ro. Are you tired of it, Tori? I don't know if you are. You invited the conversation. and you accepted what Labrina told you, so you can't be tired of it. Chloe said, girl, just come out and say you said it. It's okay. Like, there are a lot of things you have been accountable for, and I don't disagree with Chloe because Labrina is not innocent in anything she's done outside of this precious comment. So, that was it. That was all. So, we have Labrina and Ashley. They're having a girls' night. Just to catch up, and Ashley tells her that they had a final walkthrough of their restaurant, and that when it comes to wanting her husband to come off the road, they will come to an agreement if she has another baby. But her husband isn't ready to jump from leaving his work to oversee the restaurant because he wants to make sure that the income that he's bringing in is matching what Ashley's bringing in. And that's a good question because Ashley has her clients. I'm not sure she has her own office or she's renting a space, and how much she gets paid for her therapy services. And then how much does she make with the lure? So if the monthly expenses don't match up to what he brings into the household, then I wouldn't expect for him to just quit being on the road, working the jobs he's working to oversee a restaurant that might not match what he's used to making. Then Labrina was talking about how Will has been saying he wanted to have another baby. So that debunks what Chloe said. So it's like, mind your business, Chloe. You don't know nobody else's sex life, okay? No matter what was said to you. So then they talk about Rose Wild Night Out, and Ashley brings up that she did not know how coming to the event everyone was going to feel. Well, Ashley, I felt like after what took place at Pickleball when you cleared up the lemon drop thing, I don't know how else they would feel with you. So for you feeling hesitant with how you were going to come into the event, it's almost like you are expecting for people to not like you. I have no idea. And then, she said that Ro was feeling agitated. So we get to the scene where Ro had the card that has the questions because they want to understand each other better, and it was something that they didn't know about one another. So with Ashley being called out about how she said Ro had a wall up, Ro gave her the floor to defend her reasoning. But then she explained herself. There was a different perspective. But then when it came out about how she said Ro had a wall up, she then to say Chloe took that back to Ro in a malicious way. How? Well, that's what you said. You said Ro had a wall up when you met her. So what was malicious? Her telling her? Like, make it make sense. Because look at how you enter into the group. You enter the group with shade. You brought up an issue with Tori about how she had to pay for her own drink, but did not explain how that got back to her. You didn't explain how the information got back to you. Then Ro definitely had a right to feel away that she was on a flyer for an event she wasn't invited to. So I wouldn't be cool with you coming around me anyway. If I gotta feel one way about how you're doing this to my friend, then what makes you think you might not do the same thing to me? So I don't believe that Chloe took that information back in a malicious way. You added more shade, and you said the shade. So I just don't like the narrative. I don't like the tone that Labrina is creating about how Chloe brought everything back, nasty, stinky, shady, all that kind of stuff, and why she's always in everyone else's business. Labrina, again, you cannot throw stones, man, because you are just as messy as you're claiming Chloe is. You see what I'm saying? You still haven't told Elena you brought Josh into your home and you got into their business, gave him license to talk about what Elena might have done, and gave him the pass about he made one mistake 16 years ago. So get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like, I could not believe this scene right now. This scene made me so mad that Labrina, she could throw stones around another woman, spreading misinformation, false information, when she's doing the exact same thing. To say it wasn't classy with the way that Chloe did it. It wasn't classy when you were all in Elena's business. It wasn't classy when you went and told Ashley what Tori might have said because you added more smoke to it. Like, get the fuck out of here. So Labrina is itching for a confrontation with Chloe because she's ready to tell her off, okay? So Ashley's going to plan a couples event at her bar. Labrina was like, why you want to bring her around when you were calling her out to be messy? Because Ashley needs to be part of the group. So she wants to move forward. I'm sorry, it's given setup. I have no idea. This is I don't like this. So then we got Manira. Manira is headed to her husband's work site. Norman is a customs home creator, and he's building his own custom homes right now. She loves that Norman is passionate about a project, and whenever he's almost done with the project, he wants to ask her for her opinion, because there are some things that she'll tell him what she like and what she don't like. Then he is discussing his first custom home that he built, and he was very happy about it. But knowing how happy he was with it, he realized that Manir didn't like nothing about the house. She was upset about everything. But now that he told her how that made him feel, she said, well, why didn't you say that? We could have been figured it out. We could have been talked about it. Because I don't know what you was thinking. And since I don't know what you were thinking, I feel like that ties into how my parents are. I don't know why she tied that into how her parents are being, and how she's stressed about how she don't know why her parents don't want to talk, and why her husband don't want to talk. I'm like, that's not the same thing. It's like, why are you tying into the way that your parents act is the same way your husband acts? I think that's totally different. And then she didn't like the fact that Norm made it obvious that her mom didn't want to come down to dinner. But I don't know, man. You can always get what you want, okay? You got to be honest with yourself. Your mom is still holding on to what took place in the past with your father. You can't force them to be around one another. And I guess since the things that you're trying to figure out are not working in your favor, they're out of your control, you'll know how to move forward. You'll know how to, like, allow for time to be spent, for people to get comfortable. Because you should be making memories without it being the way you wanted to. And how Norman and her were both raised by their grandparents, so it's important for them to bring the family together. But Norman said he wasn't trying to be petty. That's not what he was doing. She understands what her husband was saying, but I just feel like Manir wants to relive what she lost, which is her family being together, her parents being together. And I think she wants to relive that as an adult so she can experience that for the first time, and she wants her children to experience that for the first time. But your parents are going to always be your children's grandparents. They don't have to be in the same room in order for them to showcase their love to one another. They don't have to be around one another. They don't have to. Grandparents can still love their grandchildren without the grandfather being around, the grandmother being around. It doesn't matter. But I feel like Manir wants to have that happily ever after, that amazing family dinner style fantasy. But it's not going to work. You got to let people move the way they want to move and accept it. You can't always fix it. So then we got Ro and Ashley. They're going to a Pilates studio. Ro said this is her final olive branch for her to connect with Ashley. When I heard this was her last chance and final chance to connect with Ashley, that lets me know, Ashley, you really haven't been doing your best to impress the ladies. So why are you putting it all on Chloe like she's the reason why we haven't been able to move forward with the girls? If Ro has sent you multiple opportunities to figure out how y'all can move forward, then it's not on Chloe. It's on the way Ashley's presenting things. Then we get on their first interaction of them, talking to one another. Because when they first met, it was at Labrina's vision board party. And when she first met her, it was like, hey, how you doing? And moved on. And Ro, we got to keep it a buck. You do have a wall up. You don't like meeting new people, which is understandable. So when you first met Ashley, you just viewed her as a friend of Labrina, and that's it, that's all. You never viewed her as someone that you needed to really get to know and form some type of connection because she's bringing a part of the group. So then, this whole thing with Tori, about how Tori shouldn't felt the way about how she shouldn't have had her drinks comped for an event that was presented for her and the cast, and Ro being on a flyer for an event she wasn't invited to. So look at all the interactions that Ashley's had with Ro while coming to the group. I would say it's not Chloe, it's Ashley. I feel like you were trying to find your way in. You didn't know how to do it. You decided to have a messy way of coming in, because I still don't think that Chloe took back anything malicious I don't think Chloe took anything back to Ro in a malicious way. And Ashley is really painting the picture that Chloe is the one spreading all the information, don't know if she's doing it in a messy way or malicious way, but we gotta get to the bottom of it. Then, we get to the comment that Ashley made about how she owns a bar and that Ro manages a bar. So to that extent, then she said Chloe chimed in and, added more to it. No, Ashley, no. Ashley, you opened that door to put yourself in the difference about what you do as an owner and what you are assuming that Ro does as a manager. Because Ro even defended the fact that she's owned things before. But why would you even say that about me when I haven't done anything to you? Because you did say that, Ashley, you did. And also, in my opinion, Ashley, I don't know why it bothers you so much that Tori thought that her drinks would have been calm. If you were planning a finale party for the cast of Heart and Hustle Houston, why wouldn't their drinks be calmed? Make it make sense. And why did you carry that energy and the assumption that Tori is assuming everywhere she goes she gets free drinks? What? As an owner of a bar, you cannot convince me that you have not covered the tab for your favorite clients, your special friends, and family members. You cannot convince me you've never covered the tab for an event before. You can miss me, Ashley. So again, I just don't like the way that she's assuming and placing Chloe as the one who took back every single thing that Ashley said and made it a bigger problem. She didn't. You were still hot after what took place with Tori about the lemon drop, and you added Ro into the mix. What you said is what Chloe repeated, in my opinion. When you talk about Ro, in comparison what you were saying about Tori, that's exactly the way that Chloe took it back to her. Sorry, not sorry. Like, you can miss me. But now she's saying she wants to move forward. Her and Ro are going to be upfront with one another. They're going to be direct. So if we got an issue, we're going to tell each other. But Ashley, you weren't showing that directness when you did not properly approach Tori about the lemon drop. You made the issue bigger than what it was. You allowed for Labrina to pump your head up and make an issue about a damn lemon drop so you can fucking miss me. And I've noticed this about Ashley. While Ashley might admit the things that she said, she still tries to overuse words to counteract what she didn't mean to say when she actually meant what she said. Because she was being shady towards Tori and added Ro into the mix. Chloe did not do anything wrong, in my opinion, but tell Ro what took place. If it's the way that Chloe said it, fine. Chloe shouldn't have said it in that way, but looking back on that scene, I don't think Chloe meant anything wrong, and I don't think she said anything wrong. I don't think she added anything to what Ashley said. But since Ashley is a therapist, they know how to get out of being fully accountable. They know how to admit that they did things, but they still want to place somebody else as the reason. And I don't have time for it. So then we get Ashley's event, and hopefully everything goes well. Want to iron out a few wrinkles. Everybody, the significant others are there. Chloe and Jordan are there. Labrina and Will are there. Manera and Norm is there. And Ashley and her husband are there. So it's just pretty much like, a game of what do you know about your spouse, if you know their favorite color or whatever. One question was asked, who apologized first? Labrina says she does because Will struggles with apologies. So she pretty much helps him out in that area. We get Nira and her husband. Who made the first move? It was Norman. Then we get Chloe. What is it about Jordan that makes her happy? It's about him being himself and being intentional. Like, she wrote a whole lot on that board. And all Jordan said, him being himself. Girl, whatever. And what does Ashley's husband love about her? Is the fact that she's a boss and she's a baddie. And she wrote the same thing as well. And while they are talking and then the men leave and they're having their own separate conversations, you can see the look on Labrina's face. She was ready to get shit started. Like, she was so ready to just come at Chloe and make her the main issue about what's going on in this group. Okay. So Ashley reveals that she had a Pilates day with Ro. And Chloe was like, was that fun? She said, yes, it was. You know what I'm saying? I got to know her a little bit better. And I also let her know that you told her about me saying that she had a wall up. And that you also said something on the lines about how she managed the bar and I own the bar. And Chloe said, yes, because you said that. Now, Ash said she admitted she said that, but they trying to make it seem as if she said it in a more malicious way versus with the way that Ashley said it. But Ashley, you said it in the way that you said it. You were being shady. Stop playing with me. You meant to say it in that way. You meant to say Ro had a wall up. You meant to say Tori shouldn't expect for her drinks to be free. You meant to say Ro manages the bar, not own the bar. You said it. So Chloe is triggered because Ashley is like going down the line about a whole lot of he say, she say, right? And how she's being blamed for everything because I told her in the way that she said it. So it's like a whole lot of Ashley said that Rose said about what I said. And it's just like, if I'm letting my friend know about what's being said, why would you go back and tell that friend that I told you what was said? Like, don't give up your sources. That's like, if you let me know a secret that you don't want nobody else to know but me, I'm going to keep it in the vault, locked up. And if there are things being said about my friend, I will let my friend know about it. But then again, Chloe, was it a secret? that you only wanted Ro to know about what Ashley said? Or did you thought that Ro wouldn't throw you out there about you're the one that told her? But then again, Ashley, you told Chloe about her friend. Why wouldn't Chloe go back and tell her friend? Make it make sense. Now, Ashley said she was frustrated because she said Ro was the benchmark. Why would you say Ro was the benchmark? Where did that even come from? And how are you frustrated? Because you came in the group on some bullshit anyway. Like, Ashley, you've only been here for 5 minutes. You cannot feel frustrated about how information is being spread when you came in on bullshit anyway. So then Labrina blows up about how she is just upset about what Chloe is doing. Chloe's being messy. She's being loose with her words. You keep going back and saying certain things. And we go back to the Precious comment. And I'm over this. Her and Chloe go back and forth about who said the Precious comment, who didn't say the Precious comment. And it's affecting so much. It's affecting everybody. I feel like Labrina cares about how she is coming across on this show. She don't want to come across as a mean girl. And I'm so over this. So as they're going back and forth about who said the Precious comment, Manira jumps in and said, I think I'm the one who said it because I couldn't remember the actress's name. Chloe said, girl, stop, in her confessional. Are you lost? You're not the type to say things like that. Girl, stop taking them for your friend. You know you said it. You're not the type of person who would say something like that. And she's literally the most upset and the most angry about how that comment was presented, and then Nira's in her confessional taking all the blame because she couldn't remember the actress's name of what that person looked like. So when they played the version, Manira's version, it wasn't as negative as it was recently presented, right? So Manira and Chloe are talking, and I think Chloe said, you said she was like an actress? Yeah, she's an actress. I want to play it off of Monique. Oh, she said Gabrielle Sidibe, the one off of Monique, right? Then Labrina could not put a name with a face and said, what did she play on? She said, played on Precious. So after that, that was when everything pretty much made it clear to me. Manira could not put a name to a face as to who Tori's friend looked like. They said she was like an actress. Chloe said Gabrielle Sidibe, which is the actress that played Precious. She was like, yeah, I think that's her. Then I think that's when Labrina could not get the girl's name, and she was like, the one who played who? Played Precious. That is when I think Labrina said, Precious got good energy. So, all in all, there was no malice intent for that Precious comment to be revealed. It was none. One of Tori's friends looked like the actress that played Precious. It wasn't about her size. It wasn't about her color. It wasn't about nothing. Just a person who had a familiar face and we could not think of the name. The same way how Manira added early on that people say she looked like Royce Reed. So it wasn't malicious. But I want Chloe and Labrina to admit y'all both were discussing how that girl looks. Y'all both were discussing how that girl resembles somebody. Y'all both were talking about that girl's looks. Period, point blank. Okay? But then it gets down to the point where Labrina is accusing Chloe for taking it back to Tori and taking it back wrong. I need to understand something. I thought that Tori was told by another friend about what was said. But she never mentioned who that friend was, even in therapy. So if the other friend was Chloe, then why the hell would Chloe go back and tell her that? That's messy. And then as far as like telling Chloe she is type to throw the rock and hide her hand, she said, first of all, I say everything to y'all's faces. I don't hide behind rocks. And Chloe said, I have said everything I said to y'all's faces. But then Labrina said that's a lie. Chloe asked her, what if I lied about? Labrina did not admit what she lied about. But then I think Manira came in wanting to argue. No, I'm sorry. I think Labrina came in wanting to argue, but she's asking what she lied about. You're not giving her any kind of examples other than a Precious comment. Then what are we doing? Sounds like you're setting to make everyone feel like Chloe is not a good person. She's not a good friend, but you're doing the same thing behind the scenes. And, you know, Chloe's upset. She's ready to go, and she's tired of being to blame for everything. And she said, you know what, I take it for all you hoes, okay? And I feel like Ashley and Labrina wanted to double team her by saying, these are your friends coming back and telling me things. These are your friends doing that. But it's like, aren't y'all inviting yourselves into asking those questions to get information as well? So we can't put this on Chloe being messy when all y'all have been messy. So Chloe said, I have been there for y'all. I stand up for y'all. And she called herself the glue to bring this group together. Labrina said, you need to have my back if you're going to be messy. Again, pop me kettle. You've been messy as well, Labrina. And Ashley was being extra fucking messy when she ends up by telling Chloe while they were hugging. Chloe said, I never said anything bad about you. I've always spoke good about you. She said, no, it wasn't even that. It was the fact that Ro called you the bone collector. Because they were wondering, why does Chloe get all the information? And I did not like that Ashley told her what Ro said about her, because that wasn't her place. Because Ro did tell her when they were at Pilates, give her the chance to talk to Chloe, let her talk. But you already made it hard for her and Chloe to even have a real conversation by throwing out there that she calls her the bone collector. And that extra noise, it wasn't cool, Ashley. Wasn't cool. So Chloe feels like nobody has her back. Her guard is definitely up. Then as far as like my friend telling another girl I'm a bone collector, oh, no one's my friend. Everybody's shady. But I don't do shady shit. I'm not that type of person. Chloe calls Ro. But we didn't even see the whole conversation because it just looked as if Chloe was just going off and going off. Ro was like barely paying attention to what was said. And, you know, shout out to Ro. Ro has given little tidbits about what took place in these scenes. And also, later in the season, her and Chloe are not friends. And we're going to see more of their friendship breaking down. But something's telling me that it's probably not as big as Ro made it seem. And the way that Ro is just giving off information about what's taking place in other scenes, it's just like, is it really that bad? I have no idea. But Chloe said, I'm not a mean girl. Don't make me out to be this person. It's not who I am. Thought it was going to be a fun night. It wasn't a fun night. And the FaceTime conversation wasn't even like how it should have went down. Because to me, Ro even admitted that FaceTime conversation wasn't what it was. She wasn't even like Mike, though. We couldn't hear her. She just woken up and everything. But to me, though, I just feel like there's some things that are not being said. There's some context missing. Hopefully by the end of the season, some things are going to turn it around, because I don't think that Chloe is the main issue in this group. I don't think she does things to be malicious. I think she's just following the job and what comes with it. You know what I'm saying? But, whew. That was the end of the episode. That was it. That's all. I have nothing else. But y'all, please stay tuned for my next video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.